Hello guys, so I am actually here going to be doing an interview with the one and only Elie Wiesel. He wrote and experienced the Holocaust. He wrote the book Night, and it's like a really popular book nowadays, and you have to read it in school. So, I have been asking my Twitter fan base if they have any questions for Mr. Wiesel. And I have come up with a couple questions that I have gotten, and here are a few of them. While in the Holocaust, while in the concentration camp, which concentration camps were you actually at?
Hello, Miss Binford. I am happy to be here today. So, as of your first question, which concentration camps was I in? I started out in Buchenwald, and then I was transported to Auschwitz, is where I got liberated at.
How did they find you, and where did you come from, and how did you get to be in those concentration camps?
Well, you see, I was living in a ghetto when we got transported to Buchenwald. My father was one of the head people, so we were the last people to leave. And when we got transported to another ghetto, and it was just very traumatizing. And then when we got transported to Buchenwald, it was just, my mother and sisters got separated from me and my father, and then me and my father stuck together.
Was your family, with you while you were there? Because I know a lot of them, they didn't have their families. The family got separated, but was your family with you the entire time?
As I said before, my father was with me most of the time, and he only died until the very end, right before we got liberated by the Americans. And then it was just, I don't know, I felt like I didn't have anything to live for. But once we got liberated, it was one of the best feelings, and I got reunited with my sisters. Only two of my sisters made it out.
How many members of your family survived?
At the end, my mother and I was reunited with two of my sisters, Hilda and Bee, and my mother and other sister were both killed in Auschwitz, and my father was killed as well. So it was only me and my two sisters left.
Were camp conditions really harsh and rough, or were they not like we know them as? So what were camp conditions?
Camp conditions were really bad. It was just really terrifying and germy and not very good at all. We had to eat lice off our own heads to even eat anything, and it was just very dirty and not living conditions at all. It was meant to kill us. And the SS guys didn't really care, so nothing was cleaned, we had no bathrooms. We had to go in ourselves, and it was really difficult.
Did any of the SS guards show any sign of compassion and guilt for what they were doing?
Compassion in the guards is a very interesting subject, because none of them were really that compassionate. And I mean, some weren't as rough or tough as the other ones were, but none of them were nice. None of them were the normal people we have today. It was more so they would all kill you if you tried to escape or if you tried to do anything. It was that way. You just could not. They wouldn't care. They just wouldn't care. Honestly, I mean, I don't really blame them. It was their jobs. If they didn't do it, they got killed. And even we had to kill our own people, but it's just, none of them showed compassion. It was more so, if I feel just a little bit of pity on you, then you might get away with stepping out of line once, not twice. Some guards, if you stepped out of line once, then you were just gone right then, and that was the end of it. No, they didn't care. That's one less Jew they had to deal with. But some of them were more okay, we have to actually do something, and it's just, It was really bad.
What army liberated your camp?
The United States Army liberated our camp. It was soldiers from the 6th Armored Division, part of the 3rd Army, I believe. You might have to check me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I'm almost 100% certain.
What was the experience like living with all of those people in that really close quarters, and the food and how they were treated?
The experiences that we all endured while there, it was terrible. We all looked like walking skeletons, and it was just like, it was really bad. And I don't know how to put it in a way that isn't touchy, but the only way we all even survived was the fact that we all wanted to live. There at the end, I didn't really have a reason, but I knew that my father and that maybe some of my mother and sisters would still be alive. But that's the only thing that kept me alive, was the mental. I was mentally strong, and I actually wanted to live, and it was the willpower that kept the people until the very end of it.
What did you do later in your life?
After we got liberated, I was sent to a French orphanage where I was then reunited with my 2 sisters, Bea and Hilda. In 1948, I studied philosophy and literature in Paris. In the 50s, I moved to America. In 1956, I was actually hit by a taxi and put in a wheelchair for a year. After that, I remained living in New York and later became a professor in Boston. In 1986, I received a Nobel Peace Prize. That was one of the biggest things I could have ever asked for. I didn't ask for it, it just kind of came to me, and I didn't really know whether or not to... I didn't really know what to do with that. I wasn't expecting it at all, but I guess after surviving all of that, it was really terrible, and I actually believe that everyone who was even in the Holocaust deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Hey guys, so I just now got done with that, and I'm still in the costume apparently. And now I'm done with my project, and I hope you guys had a wonderful time watching this, and I hope you actually learned something about Elie Wiesel's life.